Are you always going to be like pushing me to like hit that button like right
No,
away?
no, no, no.
Look,
I
I
just
didn't
wonder
even.
if I should show this now or while the recording's happening.
What do you mean? Show what? What are we showing?
I don't know. I got something in the mail.
You got something else in the mail?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, I know what it is. I think I know what
Yeah,
it
you
is.
do.
Did you look at it already? Is it terrible?
Such a letdown, man.
Is it really?
It's just.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It's just. Are you guys ready?
I should have done the other one. No, it's terrible. Don't do. What are you doing?
We're gonna show it to this camera first.
Yeah, that's such a terrible one.
And then
I've
we're
like
gonna show
changed
to
it like
this
10
camera.
times. I can't believe.
That's
I can't
for
believe.
my dedication to supporting the mic guy.
Yeah,
guys.
that's changing. You're gonna be that literally will be the one and only. That's what's
Well,
gonna
you know
happen.
what? Oh, yeah, I'll have you sign it then.
Yeah, I got mine. I got mine. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna put it on. Like I'm trying
I
to.
like that. How's that size compared to the ones I got from my merch site? Is that
This is.
I have like one of these.
Oh, that one's pretty big.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
but yeah, no.
this though still is my favorite, man. This one just came out so good.
Wow, that one's huge.
Yeah, huge.
Huge.
I actually got all the emotes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I had to splurge. Now that I have new ones, I got to make another order. But if you guys want to get them, no, GameHopper.com. Just throwing that out there.
Let's actually get the show started here eventually.
Yeah, let's
right?
do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
Cheers.
to another episode of What the Wednesday. My name is Chris Qualizar, and I have my co-host on the other side of the screen here, Dusty, the Game Hopper. Dusty, how has your week been?
Woo! It's been a good one, man. A lot of fun stuff going on. Starting to get some more pieces in. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a re-overhaul in here. Make some room for VR. Because VR is coming in the future. It's coming down the road.
Yeah.
So do look forward to that.
Cleaning up after being stuck in the office for 9 months. I've been getting out.
Yeah.
I've been getting out, and I come back to my office, and I'm like, God, this thing is such a cluttered mess. I spent so much time. I spent so much time last week just like cleaning off my mic stand, my mic rack, and all this other kind of stuff. Like just trying to organize a little bit. I was like, I gotta get this cleaned up.
It feels good too, man. Just to kind of, I don't know, even if it's just reorganizing stuff, it's just something about entering that space that just feels fresh now.
Yeah.
But, maybe it'll help invigorate the brains. New content, better things for you guys.
There you go. So, starting out for topics this week, we've got a little bit of Twitter hate, Twitter reactions going on. We have a little bit more talking about Reddit and how it impacts Twitch, content creators, new people coming into the scene.
I like it.
And a little bit of I want to say, I guess, constructive. You mentioned the term before, constructive criticism, and how we do.
So we do want to implement that, right?
Yes. So
sweet.
So starting out for the night, I shared it with you earlier. Ninja decided today he decided to send out this new tweet, right? And I don't want to go too deep into it. I just want to go ahead and say, I don't think it was that big of a deal. Ninja posted a tweet talking about how his wife brought him a sandwich without wearing a top. No, she had a top on.
Braless.
Yeah, braless, right? She came in, braless, brought him a sandwich, and he was winning in the game. And the internet exploded.
Yeah, he's
The
like,
internet
how's your day
absolutely
going? Like,
the internet absolutely
forbid.
exploded. Like, I mean, I get the whole, like, make me a sandwich concept, like, but literally, if she brought it to it wasn't like he was on stream and he was like, hey, go make me a sandwich. Like,
no, he even like made a little side note, like not asked for, like saying that like I didn't tell her to go get me a sandwich. She just decided to bring him lunch while he was streaming.
I mean, she probably does it it's probably every day. She probably does something very similar every day. If you think about it, like, right, he's probably got some routine and he streams through lunch and she comes and brings him lunch, but he just happened to tweet about it today.
Can't we just like happily applaud the relationship goals there? Who doesn't want a scenario where, again, this can be either way. Somebody's at work and your significant other decides to come and surprise you with some lunch. You know what? And sure, the braless part, whatever. If you can't be braless at home, I don't know where you can be braless at. Like, do it out in public too. I don't care. Like, doesn't bother me one bit.
Yeah,
Especially as a single male. You can go braless all you want, people. I do.
I just get so confused as to why people find the reason to be so mad. Like, it's...
Yeah, they were saying that he was objectifying his wife, that tweet. It just, you can always twist anything to be good or bad. And unfortunately, it just seems like on social media, more so than not these days, people like to try to look at the bad and everything. And I don't like that. That's not how I want to live my life.
It was really funny. So speaking kind of, we can do I'll talk a little bit about a social experiment that I watched.
Yeah.
And these people were asked to judge a singer's performance. And this person was a professional musician, right? Professional singer kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they were asked to judge her performance. And so she did like a video clip and then sent it in, and these people sat behind and they said, oh, well, I didn't like this. I didn't like this. I'd give her like, like a 4 out of 10 or something like that. Yeah. And then they were asked to do the exact same thing with that person in the room. Like same people, but the person was there present for the review, and the people scored substantially higher.
Yeah.
Like substantially higher. And it was just one of those situations like you just kind of mentioned on social media, right?
Yeah.
When that person's not in front of you, it's very easy to judge. It's very easy to comment. It's very easy to say what you want to say because you can, right? Like, and nobody can stop you.
Behind that screen, you feel real powerful for some reason. Like you have no social filter. And again, it's not necessarily that, like, again, I don't necessarily agree with, if you're face to face, all of a sudden you have to walk on eggshells. I've never been that kind of person. I've always been more blunt. But like, people take it too far online. They do say stuff that like you never would say to a person to their face. And it's just an awful way of existence. I don't know. I could get on that rant for a long time.
Yeah, I know, and it's always an interesting topic. Like we've had slight discussions about cancel culture and things like that in the past, and this is all what it boils down and relates to is what exactly is your intention with this aggression? You know, like and that's the same thing going on right now with the Call of Duty scene. You heard about the voice actor for Ghost got trolled. And some nasty clips came out about him being very angry to, I guess, some female viewers, right? And I mean, just going to town berating them, right? And it's a very I don't know the full details on it. I've picked up on pieces here and there. It's a very one-sided situation where you don't see the chat, you don't see what's going on, you don't see or you don't hear death comms or anything else. It's just like his responses to whatever's happening. Yeah. Right. And it's basically got him to lose his job. Like Activision has completely disowned him. I think he got banned from Facebook gaming. Like cancel culture went after him hard. And this is within like the past week that this has all gone down and happened. And it's one of those things that like, okay, if you're being a jerk, I get it. But at the same time, if you're going into somebody's channel and you're asking for it, like you're intentionally getting them riled up. Yeah. Like, come on. That to me is what I don't like. It's not like he's going and looking for people to yell at in public or looking to yell at.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, it's not like this is the effort. It's that he's, somebody's coming to him and getting him mad and he's responding in anger.
Right, yeah, they instigated themselves. Which, I mean, it's in general, I think most of us who exist in some type of internet space, we get it. We all handle it differently. There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. Sometimes it does seem like there's a lot more bad, but that just seems to be like what we have a tendency to focus on more. Like, like the classic, like if you're posting stuff online, you can have 100 awesome comments in a row, but then you get that one jackass that says something horrible. And it somehow like ruins those other 100 comments, which it shouldn't. We shouldn't let that happen. But sometimes our emotions get the better of us, and unfortunately, it seems like it happened to this guy, and he kind of lashed out, and that just didn't help the scenario anymore because they paint you as this kind of person, and then you kind of live up to that picture they paint, and then it seems like they were right all along.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just,
gotta stay strong. Gotta have tough. You gotta have thick skin online.
You gotta have you gotta have super thick skin today. You always gotta be able to keep yourself cool. You always gotta be in control. I will say I think we touched on Ninja in the beginning. I will say that's one of the things that I think he has done really well with is he's kept his cool in a lot of
Yeah.
situations that we've seen other content creators just get absolutely destroyed or, lose their
Yeah.
cool. And that's been very beneficial to him. Like, that's been very controlling. To my knowledge, I don't think Ninja's ever had a major ban.
No, not that I know of. Again, too, I mean, with his earlier Fortnite days, he's always known for the very family-friendly content because of the age of his viewership for the most part. And obviously he's gotten away from that a little bit, but he still definitely seems to follow a lot of those core values, and I can see why he's never gotten a ban.
I didn't realize this. I picked up on this whole conversation or this looking all this up. Ninja won't play with female content creators. Like, he won't play, like, I play with female content creators. He doesn't play games with female streamers or something like that.
Yeah. I forget exactly his reasoning for it. But...
I mean, there's too many opportunities. I mean, especially if you're doing like tournaments, you're traveling, you're doing whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you're spending more time with if you're a married individual, right? Me, myself,
yeah.
if you're spending more time with an opposing gender than your significant other, it always feels weird. Even, I mean, over long periods of time, right? Obviously, there's situations where you have work things or whatever, right? But for long periods of time, it feels weird. And, that's something I myself have tried to avoid, right? To any extent.
Yeah.
I've never done like long business trips with anybody that's been female or anything, like that. Like, I'm not going to go for a week to California with, intentionally, right? Just traveling with one individual there. And it just, and another thing, again, it keeps him out of that band spotlight, right? Like, it keeps him out of that whole situation. You can't put the drama around him. You can't push him into it. And there's a lot of, I don't want to say there's a lot of things I don't like about the guy. There's a lot of things that I may not necessarily, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right words here, but we'll just say that I think he makes a lot of good decisions when it comes to recognizing the importance of his brand image.
Yeah, well, and I think I just did a quick search real fast, and it was his own personal decision, and it's not some sexist nonsense or anything like that. He literally just said it was out of respect for his wife. It's not something she asked for. Which again, it's everybody too that says we're never jealous or things like that. It still doesn't mean that, like, if Ninja's wife hears or sees him playing with a female 8 hours a day on a regular basis. Not that anything's happening or anything's wrong with that, but it's nice that he just decides to respect her space and kind of say, because it's just, we'll keep it dudes only and go from there and not have to worry about any thoughts crossing anybody's mind.
Right. Do you remember the president? Do you remember the presidential candidate Mitt Romney?
Yep.
I found out that during the whole thing with Mitt Romney, like the whole campaign and stuff like that, I found out about his life, little bit about his lifestyle, right? And I found out that he will not have business meetings with a female without his wife being present.
That's fair.
I mean, obviously there's certain like classified, whatever kind of stuff like that when you get into certain levels, but he will not be in a room. He will not be in the room alone with another female because it's just one of those situations where you avoid.
It's an unfortunate world we live in that's something you have to think about. But I get it, because all it takes is one person to say one thing. And again, I'm not trying to make anybody seem like a bad person, like him for making that decision. I'm not trying to paint women as being bad people, that they're just going to take advantage of a situation like that either. It's just, we live in a shitty world where anything can happen. So sometimes you just got to really play things safe. For the most part, we're all good people, but if there's a 1% chance something horrible could go against you, you want to make sure you nip that in the butt before it does.
Nip that in the butt, bud?
Nip it in the butt.
In the bud.
Nip it in the butt. In the butt.
Bud.
Right in the butt. Nip it in the butt.
With a D, right?
Nope. 2 T's. You nip it in the butt.
Okay. Moving right along. We're not even going to go there. Next thing.
Heard that phrase?
It's nip it in the bud.
Nope.
Because it's a rose.
I'll never change it.
Okay. Anyway.
Sounds better that way.
Anyway. Additionally, on social media and other creative platforms, in the whole hot tub meta, that's going on. I hate that
we're calling it the hot tub meta.
The hot tub meta. Yeah, I know.
It doesn't seem like meta should be involved with the hot tub phase, like,
Uh,
'cause it's gonna be a phase.
Pokimane has officially announced that this Friday, so by the time people are listening to this podcast post, they will be probably occurring live. We'll see. But this Friday,
On her birthday.
yes, she has announced that she will be doing a hot tub stream, and I have no idea what that entails.
I think it's like with all the offline TV crew, apparently too. This
Which
the whole
is
squad.
which is going to be interesting because there's a lot of, I mean, not that that right there to me is what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be much more of a it's my birthday party versus a hot tub stream.
Let's hope, yeah.
Because she has been, it was just the way they worded this, or the way she worded it, I think was just for traction, right? For hype, for suspense, for whatever, right?
For sure.
And then because she's been very outspoken and vocal against everything that's been going on, right?
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, and I'd have to go back and find the source of the clip, but if I'm not mistaken, there was one where she said that the subjectivity of the rules today are the problem, right? Either have somebody there that says this is good or this is bad, and this is suggestive, right? Because Twitch's own clause says suggestive content is bad, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
have somebody there to say, okay, we're on the borderline of suggestive, right? It doesn't have to be a ban, right? And I think that's where she goes. Like, it doesn't even have to be a ban. It's just saying, hey, stop doing this. It's suggestive. And then you get, like, give them a strike. Say, hey, not a ban strike, but just give them a thing. Hey, this was suggestive. Don't do it again. If you do it again, then you'll get banned, right? And that's all Twitch. Twitch just needs to take an active step, I think, in that position. But that's getting off the topic of this though. I think this is gonna be a big hype moment. I think this is gonna be one of those things.
Why not, right?
Trying to boost views, and not that Pokimane hasn't been growing. I think she hasn't been growing quickly.
No, and any chance too you can take advantage of to, like, recreate any type of hype. You got to try to stay relevant as long as you can. And I think we can all agree kind of that the hot tub thing's not going to be around forever. It's going to keep getting so much press and coverage and things like that that Twitch is going to have to make a decision at some point. But I don't blame her. Like the people who are doing the hot tub stuff, it's what's hot right now. No pun intended. So, do it. Get the coverage, get the views.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Eyes on. So.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, because in the month, let's see, in the past 3 months, her peak viewers is down, her average viewers is down, her followers an hour is down, her followers gain is down, her views gained. Everything about her content in the past 3 months is down, and she's been streaming more, right? Like, her hours streamed is up, but all the rest of her numbers are down. So, when this is your life and this is your future and everything you need to keep yourself in control, those are things that you have to be aware of. You have to focus on that, and you have to know how to, do things that are going to give you that small little boost there every once in a while.
Yeah. And, it's one of those, it works well for her too, for any type of hype. Just the fact that, she is so outspoken against it that, saying you're going to do it, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, I need to be there to see what happens. She creates anticipation and excitement for a moment, which, again, that's what it's all about as an entertainer.
I guess for some of them, for some.
I mean, let's be real. Somebody in this room right now has a certain goal set that they would do a hot tub stream as well. Am I not wrong?
I don't know what you're talking about. We don't know who that person is. It must be you, because it certainly
it must be me. Me.
I was like, certain person in that room on the other side of the stream. That's
forgotten. I set that up. Take advantage of the moments, man. The fads, good or bad, whatever side you fall on, somehow play it into your content. It'll work out for you.
So, talking about planning content, I think one thing that I wanna talk about here, and we're gonna roll into the idea of constructive criticism here and a little bit of benefit.
Sure.
One thing that I wanna actually, you know what?
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to all of our subscribers, patrons, supporters, followers, viewers, all of you amazing people. I want to take this quick segment here as we transition into our new topic to take a moment and just recognize all of you amazing people. Myself, Dusty as well. You guys have given us an outlet during COVID. Nonetheless, right? Like, not only did we start doing this to enjoy it, but when COVID came, this became super vital to our own mental health. And you guys have provided us a space to continue to flourish and continue to grow and continue to entertain you all while keeping ourselves mentally sane. So thank you so much. Right. I wanted to make that quick shameless plug and just have that moment there for you all.
Amen.
Anything you want to add to that real quick, Dusty?
I mean, just the fact that there's people out there that are willing to accept my wild, zany antics is awesome enough. So I can't say thank you enough. I know you guys all know that. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Again, all of this exists because of you. So keep it up.
So one thing that's been kind of a amalgamation, I'm going to use a big word there, amalgamation of...
Amalgamation?
Yeah, sure. I probably used the word all wrong, but...
It's fair. You're going to give me the butt issues. I'm going to give you amalgamation. There you go. Gotcha.
Anyways. Like it's for young content creators or for people who are, a year, even 2 years in or things like that. And they're trying to judge how their content fares to other content creators or how their growth is actually, if they're actually doing well. What do they need to improve? How do they get better? And one of those weird things on Twitch right now in general is I don't think that there's a safe space or a typical outlet for people to actually go and get constructive get constructive criticism and feedback on your content.
It is tough because I do feel like, number one, your viewers, it's hard. Like, a lot of them, I'm not going to say they're biased, but obviously they're there because they like your content. You'll find some honest ones who, you can get to give you some answers in DMs or something like that. But otherwise, I mean, you ask other fellow streamers, we all just kind of stroke each other's egos. Like, oh, yeah, you're doing great. Keep it up. Go, yeah. So it's tough, and it's tough to judge your progress against someone else because your content's not exactly like theirs. Maybe you can find someone who does exactly what you do to the T and then make a comparison in that sense. But that, that's going to be so few and far in between that it's hard to, say, well, this is where I am now. And this is where I was. How does that fare for myself? And it's hard. It really is.
So I want to segue in to state that going in the future, for those that are listening, for those that are watching, Dusty and I have decided to actually take a moment.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
Yeah, Dusty and I have actually decided to take time out for each podcast and go through and do critiques, criticisms, and try to be constructive as we can. It's going to be raw, it's going to be real, it's going to be hurtful, but constructive criticisms for channels and other individuals. So if anybody's interested in that, again, post it in one of our Discords because we will have information to provide for you guys, feedback to give you and things like that. I think it's a good space for me and Dusty to impart some of the information that we have learned, things that we have understood, and things that we've picked up on over, our almost 2 years now of streaming and seeing other channels as well.
Now, and obviously too, just side note, we're not all-knowing experts. Again, everything we're going to say and judge is just our opinions on information we've gathered and stuff over the years. I say years like we've been doing this forever, but so again, and we all know me. I'm blunt. I'm not gonna paint corners. I'm gonna jump right onto things I see wrong, and we're gonna get some positive stuff in there too. But it seems like it'll be a fun opportunity for us and for you guys to get some actual, legitimate, no holds bar feedback.
So in touch of that, before obviously as we're kind of making that announcement for this week, and then we will start doing that in the future here.
Yeah.
What would be the one thing, like if you were to give a super constructive thing to a new content creator that you have to assume, right? We're just watching a clip or something like that. What's the most common thing you think you see in newer streamers and the way they provide their content?
So, like, we're saying this is something they're doing wrong,
Yeah,
or
yeah, something that you would think, something that you commonly see when you go
see
into
things
channels
off
that
it.
you would like to just start and say, like,
Uh,
how would you recommend this
I
being
mean,
fixed?
I'll do one. This is just a simple thing right now. Even just looking it up at the screen because we're doing it right now. In my opinion, is I hate, and I see it all too often when people have webcams that they're using, but it's orientated where it looks like they're looking away from the content. Like right now in my screen, me and you are looking at each other, and it might be set up. One of us has our camera flipped to make it so, but if we were looking the other way, it creates this disconnect and it kills the moment. You can have the coolest overlay or the greatest plays happening, but when it looks like you're looking away from it, nobody wants to watch that.
So that's a really, really, really funny thing, and
Yeah.
that actually got imparted on because for the longest time I did the exact same thing,
Oh, yeah?
and I did that. I did that, and I actually had a stream critique on my own channel, and I was like, I'm gonna go into the stream critique, and this guy is just gonna think my stream is boss, and he's not gonna have anything bad to say about it. And the guy totally ripped me a new one. And that was one of the things that came out of it was my camera was facing the wrong direction. And I was like, it was one of those things I never noticed until I noticed. And now that I notice, it drives me insane.
Right?
You know?
Oh my God.
But I totally agree with you. Mine would be, I would have to say, and this would be like a piece of wisdom that I would impart on somebody.
Ooh, I like it.
Is stream with a purpose. Right? There's,
It's kind of vague. Just give me more. Dive into that.
So we've gone through and we've said, right? We've had the discussions. There's 2 million channels that are going live a day across all platforms, right? Like if you think about, I say 2 million, millions of channels, I should say. I don't know the exact number, but there's over 1 million channels going live every day across all these platforms, right?
Sure. It's a lot.
You have to have a reason to have people come watch you. No longer can you have the days where you wait to interact with chat. One of the biggest things that I think a lot of people give feedback on, these, I'm going to call him Stream Doctor, right? Or, Stream Professor or whatever, these individuals that give stream critiques, or streamer advice to new streamers is they always say, oh, well, you have to interact with chat. You have to be ready. You have to be, on top of everything because you have to make those viewers feel engaged. And I'm like, yes, that is true. But I think a viewer will feel much more valued if they think that they're getting value out of what you're saying more than just stopping what you're saying and responding. One of the biggest things that another thing that I had a lot of trouble with, and I still have trouble with this today, is if I'm in the middle of saying something and I'm making a point, I will stop and respond to somebody in chat that has like an alternate topic or something like that. And it totally throws off my train of thought. And then I got to go back and I was like, where was I going with that idea? What am I doing? Right. And it was really bad in the beginning. I couldn't get a sentence out because I was always like trying to jump between what people were asking in chat. And it's just what I want to say, like stream with a purpose. Like when you go live, you should have an idea of what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Have something like today we're going to talk about this and we're going to try to reach a conclusion that means this, right? Even if it's in the game you're playing, like say you're playing Pokemon and you're like, why has Ash been 10 years old for 20 years? And just talk about that, right? And get your viewers to engage in it. Oh, Pokemon is just a ultimate MMO. And Ash is really a dude in a VR helmet that's like laying in a bed somewhere. That's my and every time they go to a new island, they're just installing expansion packs.
This is software update.
Anyways, so see, you got me distracted. Look at that. See, that's what happens though. It's a perfect example. Perfect example though. But that's kind of the thing where you want to make sure that you have you just talk through it and you work your conversation fitting to what you want to talk about. Don't just wait for chat to drive your conversation. Engage them to what you want to talk about and they'll feel like they're getting much more out of you.
Fair. So you're saying really it's if you want to take this seriously, never just stream to stream. kind of? Is that
Yeah, I mean that's kind of that's exactly. Don't just stream to be online,
yeah,
right? Don't just stream to wait for somebody to talk to you, right? And that kind of goes in with that whole statement because I think that's what a lot of people try to say when they do stream, stream advice. They're like, don't just sit there and wait for chat. Like, talk about your game, talk about something, be interactive. So when
true.
people show up, they know that you're already talking, but be talking about something of value so that way they can engage with you, right? And
Yeah,
they can input to the conversation.
I like that. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I'm not gonna say I always do. Obviously, I just kind of like roll with it, but I feel like that's one of my strengths. Kind of is I have the ability to just kind of ramble and have it make sense somehow.
Well, yeah, and
At least I
again,
feel like that. I could be 100% wrong.
and again, I think I would if I were to give a comment on a comment on your content
Ooh, hit
right
me with it.
now. No, it's not even bad. I would just say because your games are typically very viewer engaged. So
True.
your viewers are participating in a lot of what you're doing,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a different but that's part of it, right? Like
Yeah.
again this
I get thought to that for sure. I don't play a game like we've played some of our open world stuff, and I avoid streaming that because it's hard to direct conversation when it's like, and now I'm chopping down a tree. Next, we're gonna pickaxe a rock. Like, it doesn't drive conversation well.
yeah. It is tough.
Yeah.
It's really interesting when I see people live with like 30 viewers and they're playing like a survival game, and I'm like, okay. And it is everybody's watching. Like it's not engaging, it's not active, it's not really
Chat's pretty quiet in those usually.
Does game choice matter more than the question for you, Hopper? Does game choice
Sure.
matter more than the interaction with the audience, or is it the other way around?
It's honestly it's both for me. The story-driven games are a lot easier to play and keep myself talking because again, it's you're walking through something, so you have events that are happening and you're following, and you're keeping track of characters and storylines and jumping from one thing to another, and you're trying to figure out problems and solve things. So I honestly, I'm just walking through my own personal thought process out loud, and it's easy for people to jump in, especially if they played the game before, or I'm asking myself like, oh, I wonder why this character decided to do that, and somebody will be like, oh, it's because their brother just died, and so it makes it very easy for conversation to start and spark up.
I think game choice matters a lot in the very beginning. I think your first 5 average viewers matters a lot. Like if you're averaging less than 5 viewers, then I think game choice is very, very, very important. Because I think with the right game, you can get 5 viewers with minimal interaction, right? Like just being slightly interactive, but people will watch you play. And I'm not talking about BRs, right? Again, we've talked about this in the past. Unless you're Shroud, unless you're Tim, because Tim's pretty good at COD, right? Unless you're good,
Yeah, it's gotten good.
unless you got like a 5 KD, nobody cares about your COD content because they don't care, right? Everybody can be, not everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that have really, really high KD rates. They don't care, right? They're going to go find somebody else that they can interact with and engage with. I think your game choice matters where you need a small game to get your first 5 viewers, your first 5 average, start enjoying content with them, start really, really getting to know them, starting really to enjoy. And then when you shift, like if you want to go play a BR, that's fine. Those 5 people are still going to come and hang out with you because they know that they can talk to you and engage. And, I think you'll see more people will be willing to watch a game they don't enjoy because they know the content creator, then go find a content creator, right, that has nobody watching them already.
And I do have to say another thing that guys like Tim and Mercs and them have going for them, which you'll notice, is they're grouping up with each other, playing in a group of 4 with 4 content creators, 4 strong personalities, where you'll get the moments where they all start screaming at each other because one did something stupid or silly, and I feel like a lot of people stick around for that more so than just watching them mow down kills, and it's the interaction between each other. Because I'll watch them when they do that, but I've turned on Nick or Tim, and it's just them playing with randoms, and it's a completely different experience, and it's not as fun for me.
Yeah, I think the engagement between the streamers is really important. I think you're definitely right there. The way, and this goes back to us when the Among Us craze was going on and things like that. The most successful people that were playing Among Us, right, were streamers playing with each other, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't the people that were doing viewer games, because let's be honest. I mean, it can be viewer games, right? Obviously, there's always an exception, but right. Majority of the time, people that are doing streamer to streamer, because that's a game where you're getting very engaged with your community, right? Like people are like other streamers are watching you do things and them do, you know what I mean? Like you have an opportunity to take 10. I don't even know how many people get in Among Us. Is it 10? I don't even know. But you have like 10 people get into a ship together. That's 10 communities that are now watching you, right? So you have an opportunity to really show yourself or get involved there, right?
It is pretty great. I mean, again, that's the dream. I would love to have a night of the week where, we have 5-6 of us getting together, playing something that, again, I do love the interaction from the communities, and you can still have that in these types of games and things, but it's nice because it takes a little bit of pressure off you personally to drive the content when there's, all these personalities getting together that just makes it seem so much more effortless.
We need to do more Uno nights. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, dude, I'm down. Any board game, to be honest. Life? Play the game of life.
The game of life?
The only thing I'm avoiding is Risk. Risk I get.
Risk takes way too long.
I get a little rowdy playing Risk, too.
Risk is Risk is obnoxious. But
yeah.
So gauging into all that criticism and stuff like that, like the next part of that is like, how do you actually judge or how do you actually know if you're making progress as a streamer or not, right? Because a lot of people are thinking sub counts, a lot of people are thinking follow counts, a lot of people are thinking, like, what would you say, or what do you think is your concept or your idea of the best way to judge your progress as a streamer in general?
Yeah. This is one of those things that I feel like a lot of people rack their brains on, and this is also one of the things that I think has killed any type of streaming continuance for a lot of people, is because they sit on this question, they feel like they come up with an answer for this question, and they don't live up to whatever bar they've set. But I personally judge these days my progress. It's not on any number. Number one, again, it's going to sound stupid, but it is really subjective because it's your content. The only person that knows, like, from day one how you felt about everything you were doing to where you are now is you. Sure, the viewers and stuff are going to see your growth and whatnot and see you more comfortable on camera, but you know how you feel. And for me, it's the fact that I sit down. I love pushing that go live button. Like it's almost literally like a drug for me, which sounds horrible, but I live for it. And the fact that I can sit here night after night, hours go by like it's nothing. I've got new games and stuff lined up that I'm excited to get to, and I have regulars and stuff coming out. And again, my numbers are up from what they were a year ago. Some weeks better than others. But the fact that there's still people coming back and friendships that I've made, to me, is progress. And I wouldn't trade any of it in the world. I think I'm in a great place. I'm excited to see where it goes. And I mean, if it's up to me, I'm going to keep doing this for the rest of my life until I'm old and gray, sitting in this chair, and Hopper's still looking better than me, like he always does.
Yeah,
and I know that's not much of an answer, but
I mean, if you're looking for a business response, right? If you're looking for like the idea of like, how do you judge your success from a business perspective, I would have to say that hours watched is probably one of your most important metrics, right? It's total views and hours watched, because even if people aren't engaging, even if people aren't being interactive in your chat, you still have the ability to determine, are they watching my content? Because every eye you get on it, every opportunity you have to get another eye on it, etc., right? And so, because a lot of people go average viewers, a lot of people go peak viewers, a lot of people go, those numbers flex so much. They change every stream, and it's not that easy to measure those, right? If you have super long streams, you could have an average viewer count that's really terrible, or you could have an average viewer count that's really high because you spent 2 hours at 5 viewers, you got rated, and then you had 100 viewers for 25 hours, right? It's just not something that's really gaugeable in that aspect. I definitely think you need to do some kind of math of like time streamed based on hours watched or some kind of math metric there to kind of say, here's where these numbers fall in line per 30 days or something like that.
Yeah, and I guess too another thing, obviously, it's what you want out of the streaming experience. You can obviously set your bar higher or goals higher for numbers, and even if you aren't at the numbers you're hoping to be at, doesn't mean you're still not progressing towards that. Because we all know too in this business that it could be one moment, it could be one stream, it could be 1 week. Literally 10 seconds could somehow spark a viral moment, and your career changes from that point on. And you just got to keep doing what you're doing and making sure you enjoy it, because again, success can be right around the corner.
Right. So another question coming in from chat. By the way, guys, if your questions are related to the topics we're talking about, we will bring them up in the chat. So be sure to drop your questions in while we're doing this, guys, if you want to participate live. So I want to reiterate that just to make sure. So another question coming in is, do you feel it's better to stream more in the early stages, or is setting a more strict schedule the better play?
I'm always going to be behind a strict schedule. And again, I don't necessarily even emphasize the word strict, just a schedule and stick to it. It creates consistency. It gives the viewers and your community a time to know when they can find you. I'm not a believer in all and of just, I have time to stream, I'm just going to do it. Again, you can, but you're going to have your expectations set differently. And again, it doesn't mean that it won't work. Like, sure, there's probably plenty of people who have found success just streaming whenever the heck they have free time. And there's people who've been doing schedules for 2 years and still stream to 2 viewers. It's the curse and the gift of Twitch that there really is no right method. I just know for me personally, it's more fun and it works better for me having a schedule. It gets me hyped up for that time of night, and it just works for me. I like it.
So
It's a tough one.
Unfortunately, I would disagree. I really think that as an early streamer,
Voice is gone. Lost it.
Okay, now we're better.
We're gonna say
we're better.
Post-affiliate then, right? You're saying?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Obviously, pre-affiliate, yeah, you don't want to just stream willy-nilly because it's going to take you forever to get there.
Well, so that actually would be kind of my opposition to that statement. I think getting those first 50 followers for somebody who doesn't have any connections in Twitch, like nobody, you weren't a viewer in the past, you weren't a part of any communities, you don't have a ton of friends on Twitch, you're just starting this out for your first time and you're just getting involved. I really think that streaming more to get your 50 followers is important. I think that's where a lot of people have trouble for, we all know that average viewers is the one thing that people say they struggle with the most, but we've talked about creative ways to overcome that, right? Sure. Your wife's cell phone, your cell phone, and a Google Chrome tab in the background. Done, right?
We all have devices, right?
Yeah, we all have a device somewhere, right? You really only need one viewer plus your phone and your computer, and you're good to go. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, that's what you need to be doing. And you need to be going after those 50 followers. 50 followers is going to be the one that's going to be harder to get if you're not streaming regularly, because if you're on a set schedule and nobody knows you, they're not going to come and find you at that time. So I say in the beginning, first 50, stream to your heart's content. Stream as much as you can to get those 50. Once you get your 50, then you need to start formalizing your plan and understanding when and how you want to stream. In order to get people to come watch your stream, you need to be posting clippable content, on other platforms to get people to come to your stream at that point.
Would you say that you would even agree So you obviously stream as much as you're saying until you get that 50. Would you say that that time spent streaming would be more beneficial than, say, networking in some streams and get to a point where you know some communities well, and you can be like, by the way, and that doesn't have to be in there in the stream itself, in a Discord, because again, saying you're going live in somebody's Twitch stream is rude. I don't care who you are, unless you have permission from the streamer to do it. Don't. All right. That's Hopper giving you some advice. But you can post in a Discord like, hey, by the way, I just started streaming. Come check me out. I would say the networking would be more beneficial than just streaming willy-nilly to get those followers.
I think the majority, so I would say 90% of networking is wasted. I love the idea. I love the idea of networking, but when you find communities that are like, if you go to somebody who has a channel that is for post your go live statuses, 90% of the time you're going to go to that channel and it's just going to be people posting go live, and then that channel gets left. You're going to have you're going to have one person maybe in that server that's like, oh, well, I saw so-and-so just went live, I'm going to go click on their thing. That just doesn't happen, right? Like it isn't a thing. I wish it was. I wish people gave as much as they asked. Right? I wish people spent as much time going and watching streams as they ask other people to come and watch theirs. If they did, then networking at that level would be absolutely amazing. You could seriously make some great connections, but I feel like everybody is selfish. Or I shouldn't say everybody, but I feel like a lot of people are selfish.
You're not wrong a lot. I wouldn't say everybody, because obviously I think both me and you can say that we've benefited from our networking relationship with each other. We both get regulars from each other's channel on a pretty regular basis as well.
Sure, but I mean, I think we're
not saying that we're every prime example of.
But I think the way we've done it is completely different, right? Like this podcast is something different. We're actually engaging with each other. It's not like I'm just going into your Discord and posting that hey, I'm going to go live I'm going to go live in half an hour, right? It's a different type. Like we're actually making an effort to be a part of somebody else's content and actually trying to bring value to each other's content at the same time.
Yeah, it is kind of sad that collaborations are like not as common as they should be.
I really think
it's one of those things I always wanted more out of with all the stream teams and stuff that exist out there. And it's just
there's stream teams everywhere, and I think Twitch killed off. I really think Twitch killed off the squad streaming. Right? Nobody uses it.
Yeah.
Nobody uses it. Like even the big partners, like when Tim and Mercs and these other guys stream, it's way too much of a clunky interface. I feel like if Twitch were to open up, man, my voice is going for some reason.
Yeah,
I really feel like if Twitch would open up squad streaming a little better, and I don't know the details on, the technical side of it. It may come to a point to where you need to be doing, I don't know, you need to be doing like if all four streamers are doing 1080p at 6K, you need to have 24K bandwidth. I don't know how that works, right? Like I don't know the technical details behind it, but some kind of method to where like the main stream you're watching gets, the 6K and everybody else gets like 160p or something like that, right? Like have some kind of method, but go ahead.
Even just like, again, this is tech that's existed for a long time. It'd be cool if there was just a little simple picture-in-picture button that you could click and have the secondary streamer up in a smaller window.
There you go. Something like that, right? Where you have the ability to squad stream more. I feel like collaborations would go way. I mean, I think collaborations would go through the roof if squad streaming were a much stronger thing. I think it's too hard to do today, and a lot of times people are fighting over who hosts, who's the who's the owner of the content? Where do the viewers go? Who gets what, right? And it just doesn't, it ends up not working a lot of times, especially for smaller streamers where every viewer counts.
Yeah, because as much as nobody wants to admit it, but like if there's 4 people streaming a game, 3 of them have 15 viewers and then that one has 2, they're they're going to be bitter about it. Like, they're probably not going to say anything, but they're not going to be as encouraged to do these squad streams as the other three. It's just a sad truth. You are right that there's a lot of selfishness in this area that we exist in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. And I don't know that we have the right answer for what true networking is and how to make true networking work. But I feel like it's needed, but I just don't think you get enough value out of it as a small streamer anymore.
Yeah. If you gotta find the right people we did.
If you go into it, like I use Kick Metallic as a great example, right? If you go into it with the concept that, I've been a viewer in many channels and people know me, when I go live for the first time, those people will realize that I went live and they will come find me because they've come to enjoy at least just talking to me in chat, playing games with me, right? That kind of concept. If you do that, I've said before, if you could spend a year just trying to play games with other streamers, if you could spend a year before you even start streaming and just try to play games with other streamers, connect with other communities, and just be that guy, and then when you go live, you're going to have just an explosion of people that want to come watch or want to come hang out with you because you've come to like and come to meet and come to know those people.
You just made my argument for me, right?
I did?
That I said, don't you think it'd be more beneficial for people to network first before just streaming willy-nilly? Bam! Mind games.
Whatever.
He's like, crap.
I
get it. It's and honestly too, it's a mixture of everything. Like we always talk about, you're gonna hear lots of advice. Do this, don't do that. Literally try to do everything you can to get eyes on your content. Network, stream a lot, do it all. Do as much as you can afford with your free time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are you running for?
I'm just excited because that was great. I was just cracking this giant smile as you're talking about networking
because you realize
communities. I was like, yeah, keep going, Q. Nail that point home. Beautiful moment.
Oh man. Okay. So I'm going. Yeah. We're going to close out the week. And what I want to do now is I want to actually make this statement. I want to make the statement. Two things, right? The reminder, next week, be sure to check out Discord for both of our channels. Links are everywhere on our content, guys. Everywhere. If you're not in the Discords, get in the Discords. We want you guys to drop your videos. We want to critique them. It'll be constructive, but it will be real. If you guys are really, really interested in trying to make your content better and you really want some feedback, that's a great place to start. The next thing, our topics for next week. We're going to start announcing them at the end of this podcast, so that way we have time.
Oh, you already know?
Well, there's two things that we missed this week already. So,
rollover minutes.
Leveraging our Twitch and actually getting your topics or your questions answered with constructive criticism on Reddit, right? How to find other people besides the trolls, right? And then the next thing is stop making excuses for your bad content. Those are going to be our two main topics for next week. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chris, a.k.a. Qualizar, a.k.a. I got to drop in the mic, guys, since you showed the sticker tonight. That's a terrible, dude. I wish I would have known that was the sticker. I better go through and change the rest of the stuff because, wow.
Rough.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed another What the Wednesday. Dusty, send us home.
Hey, everybody, again, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you listening in and just enjoying our shenanigans. Again, we speak our minds and we do so freely, and it's fun. We enjoy this, and we're glad that you guys participate with us. So we'll see you next time. We love you.